watching Gov's Radio. This is where you go if you want to see something or if you want to hear something funny. Coming up in just a couple minutes. This is a joke I told. What? I'm not on Gov Radio? Call the police. Call my agent.
Tony, welcome to Gov.
Hey, Joe, how are you?
I gotta pat you down though, pal.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Got anything on you? Anything I should know?
I got nothing.
Anything weird going on?
What?
Alright, you go in, Tony. Good.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Tom Kelly of The Tom Kelly Show. Yes, this is not the only time I've gotten on my knees in the back room of a comedy club.
The Knock 'em Dead Comedy Radio Show is also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. Give Two Eagles Auto Body a call and please ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527. That's 516-328-2527.
Hey, how do you say there, people? It's Johnny Brennan, creator of the Jerky Boys, also of Fox TV's Family Guy fame. I just want to let you know you're listening to Tony on the Knock 'em Dead Radio Show. They're gonna keep knocking 'em dead, so keep listening, you wacky sons of bitch. Right there. Over and out there, sweet Charlie.
Long time no see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man, at Knock 'em Dead Comedy Radio.
Hey Tony, you're not funny, and you probably shit yourself a lot, and you're no fun to be with, and you don't make that much money, and you're not going anywhere in show business, and I hope you get hit by a bus.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday to you. Welcome to the Knock'em Dead Comedy Show here at Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. Gov's Comedy Club Podcast, the YouTube feed, the Facebook feed. Please follow the Facebook page and please subscribe to the YouTube channel and share the links to our shows all over the place. Tell everybody you know about all the great shows here at Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. We got a lot of great shows. Very entertaining shows. Thanks for joining us today, the Knock'em Dead Comedy Show. We are coming at you live from the legendary Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown, New York, where you can see a lot of great comedy shows, the best comedy shows. Nobody even comes close. There's so much history in this building. So many great legends of comedy have been here. So we appreciate you guys hanging out with us today. Good morning, John Rusciello. Hope you had a good weekend. Good morning. Hope you had a good weekend too, pal. Hope you're feeling good. And tell your nurse we said hello. Let's see. So what is happening? How's everybody's weekend? Hope everybody's well. Let's see. I'll tell you about the weekend. I'll tell you about some cool stuff we have going on. There is a chance Zach is stopping in. I'm not sure if he is or not, but there is a chance of it. He's got some stuff he wants to talk about. All right. So this weekend. That guy right there, Don Sill, ladies and gentlemen. Don Sill, his daughter Amanda graduated college this weekend. We'd like to congratulate her on a job well done. Kennesaw University. Kennesaw University, Amanda graduated from. Congratulations. And I do believe Don is on his way home right now. I do believe he's driving, as we speak, back to home, back to New York. That's right. Home is in New York. That's where you're from. That's where you grew up. Don wants to get back to North Carolina at some point, but this is home, damn it. I'm going to cry like a baby when he leaves. Let's see. What else is going on? What'd you guys do this weekend? Put in the comments here what your weekend was all about. I had a relaxing weekend. Sammy had some sports that she plays that I'm involved in. I help coach her special needs baseball team. Lisa and I are actually in charge of her special needs bowling league. We run it. But it's through the PAL. Lisa's in charge of it, and I, of course, do it with her. But it's through the Nassau County PAL, which I am the president of. Nassau County PAL Special Needs Unit. We are the only, as far as we know, we are the only special needs unit in any PAL in the whole country. That's right. I said the whole country, the only special needs PAL. If we're not the only one, we're definitely the largest because we run a ton of programs. We have an acting class, we have flag football, we have lacrosse, basketball, 2 basketball programs, 3 bowling programs, a painting class. We have boot camp, which is like calisthenics. We have a yoga class. And I'm sure I'm missing something. We have one-off trips, like we just had a fishing trip about a week or 2 ago. We're going to a Ducks game, Long Island Ducks, which is baseball. Yeah, we do a whole bunch of stuff. Nassau County PAL Special Needs Unit. Come on, hit me up in the comments here. If you'd like to comment and you'd like us to see your comments and read them and respond to you, please do so on the YouTube channel. That is where we monitor the comments. Please comment today. I need comments because I'm here by myself and I need to interact with you guys. Like I said, Zach may be coming in. We'll be talking to him if he shows up. There he is, Andrew Fremder. I like how your beard matches your shirt. You look like the New York Times. That was pretty good, Fremder, but I'm going to disagree. The shirt is gray. The shirt is almost the exact same shade of gray as this wall. But my beard is white. So it doesn't. I wouldn't say it matches. But between the black chair and a little bit of darkness in my mustache and the white and the gray, yeah, it does look like the New York Times. I agree. That's pretty funny. John Rusciello, this weekend I spent cursing Robert De Niro. All right. Let's talk about that for a minute. I didn't want to get too deep into that, but I got a lot of thoughts about this De Niro thing. First and foremost, and it's this is the very most important part of this whole thing with me, in my opinion. And let me point out, I'm just giving you my opinion. I'm not telling anybody how they should feel about it. You're all entitled to feel however you want about it. But John brought it up, so I'm just going to discuss it. But yeah, the most important thing on this for me, I don't care. I don't care what Robert De Niro has to say. I don't care what any entertainer has to say about their political, where they lean politically. I really don't care. And I don't. I'll be honest with you. I don't judge whether they're left or right. I think a lot of these entertainers are jerks for many other reasons. And now, having said that, I think if you guys really did your homework on many celebrities, you'd see how much of a jerk a lot of them are. But to me, none of that matters. I just want to see Robert De Niro's. I just want to see him act. I don't care. What the hell is this? I don't know. I just found this on the table. I have no idea what this is, where it came from. All right. That's today's mystery. I don't know where that came from. That was weird. I don't even know what it is. It's obviously a piece of foam, but okay. Sorry. I just want to now. If he's got something to say, Robert De Niro, if he's got something to say, I'll listen. These people are on the news, and they'll listen. Maybe they'll say something that I find interesting. But this is the case for anybody. This isn't a celebrity thing, If I'm watching the news, I pay attention and I listen to what anybody has to say. It's one of the reasons I'm a huge John Lennon fan, because he fought for peace and love. He was against Nixon, but he really didn't lean one way or the other. It was all just about, human rights. And that's a difference between John Lennon and Robert De Niro. John Lennon, I do feel, was more a little more on point, a little more about humanity, where De Niro is just politics. And he's putting down, the president. I think he would put down any Republican, where Lennon, I don't think, would have done that. So I listen to these people, and maybe they'll make me think about stuff. Like Lennon has made me think about a lot of things, which is, again, why I'm a huge fan of his. He wasn't perfect. He made a lot of mistakes, and he owned up to them. Where De Niro, he's just like a grouchy old man. But it doesn't sway me from being a fan of his work. I've said it on here a million times. It's such a shame what some of these people have done, like Bill Cosby. It's such a shame what he's done, because his work was genius. But again, we're talking about two different things. We're talking about a man who committed a crime. De Niro didn't commit a crime. So, I do think in his case it's easier to separate the work from the person. I've heard Jerry Seinfeld. We work in a comedy club here. I've heard from several comedians that Seinfeld's not really a nice guy. That he doesn't give other comedians the time of day. Sometimes he's downright rude to them. I don't know that for fact. That's what I've heard. But again, his show, one of the best TV shows ever. Still watch it today, in reruns. I separate the man from the work. I'm not saying you guys should either. I'm not telling you how you should feel about it, and I do respect the man's right to go out and protest. just like the supporters of Trump have been there at the courthouse. Well, so were the protesters, and they both have a right to be there, and I support both of their rights to be there. Me personally, I did feel it was a little poor taste for De Niro to show up and rile people up and point fingers just as much as they're pointing fingers at him. I think he would have come out on top if he didn't show up there and just let the people acting like babies pointing fingers at him from through the TV sets. Then they look like the idiots. I do think it was in poor taste of Joe Biden, supposedly, right? Biden sent him there. I think that's what I read. I might be wrong about that. I do think it was in poor taste for Biden to cash in on this for his own campaign. I do feel it backfired on De Niro. I do feel a lot of people are going to I do feel he may have swayed some people to Trump's way. I don't know. I just and honestly too. And then the people that are picking. I've seen plenty of posts about De Niro, how much they hate him now. But now, aren't you guys doing the same thing that he was doing to Trump? You guys have the right to publicly put him down. You guys have the right to not like him. He's got the right to do that to Donald Trump, doesn't he? And then I have to say, I have issues with people, and I actually wrote it down here somewhere. I saw online, somebody posted something about De Niro, and people were commenting. And this was an actual post that I read, a comment to an anti-De Niro post. I would laugh my ass off if he got thrown onto subway tracks in front of a train. You want to call Robert De Niro anti-American, and we can discuss that. We can debate it. You want to say he's an asshole, we can discuss it and debate it. But to get to the point where you say I would laugh if he got thrown in front of a train, I just don't get that. I just don't get it. I remember one of the times Rosie O'Donnell said something about Trump, and then I read somebody said that I wish she would get shot. Like, I don't know, man. That you're taking it to a whole other level, man. And I just think that part is really just terrible and wrong, terribly wrong. All right, so Zach has arrived. Let me read some comments, and then we'll talk to Zach. No, you're not to apologize for. Fremder, my mistake, you look like Newsday. Yeah, all right. Robert Deep Nero. How many speeds does that foam have? Yeah. Do you know what that is?
I think what he said is right. It's foam.
Oh.
Why are we questioning foam?
We're not questioning it. I just don't know where it came from. It was sitting on the table over by that microphone. I just found it like 5 minutes ago. And I just couldn't figure out where it came from or why it's here. All right, John Rusiello is calling, and he's going to yell at me. I can feel it. I'm a little nervous. Are you going to yell at me?
No, I'm not going to yell at you. In fact, I'm going to commend you.
Oh.
What you just said about De Niro is a very level-headed observation by a guy that is understanding both sides of the issue. But I have one question for you, because
sure.
I find you very intelligent.
Oh, boy.
What would possess a guy like Robert De Niro, who's a very, very successful actor,
right.
He did over 50 films. What would possess an 80-year-old man, successful, a multimillionaire, a restaurant owner in New York City, knock New York City and knock Trump? What was the reason for it?
Well,
I don't understand. I'm yesterday's newspaper. I have no clue.
Well, he didn't knock. Well, the footage that I saw, he didn't knock. I didn't see anything where he knocked the city. I actually saw something where he said he loves the city, which is why.
Well, he's knocking the city because he says Donald Trump made this city what it is today.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear that.
Which is totally untrue.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think that's true either.
Totally untrue. It doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
All right. What made the city go down, and I have a right to talk to the city because I was a city employee.
Yes.
And I gave my best years of life to protect the city. What gave the city, what destroyed the city, is the politicians.
Absolutely right.
And the judicial system.
Yes, agreed, 100%.
Right. So for him, here's where I curse him. Here's a man, 80 years old. God bless him. Live your life. Enjoy your life. Stop this bullshit getting on. Just like Madonna. Do you remember that Madonna, if you were a Trump fan and you went to her concert in Radio City, this was years ago, she returned your tickets. She didn't want you to go to the concert.
Yeah,
Do you remember that?
I actually don't remember that, but yeah, I totally disagree with her doing that.
Yeah, why are they getting involved? You politicians can knock politicians. Politicians can fight with one another. That's all good. We expect that. But here's a guy that the talent is he has unbelievable talent. He's a fantastic actor. All right, not as good as other actors, in my opinion, but he's a talent actor, and he has to start with his bullshit. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I honestly go back and forth on that because there are times where I do find myself saying it, whether it's De Niro or anybody else, just saying, you know what, go entertain. That's what we want to see from you. But then sometimes I think, well, maybe as a public figure, do they have some kind of responsibility to get into what an important cause? Yeah, but that's why I mentioned John Lennon, because John Lennon would actually talk about a particular cause where De Niro is just going after one person, and he's wrong. Like you said, he's wrong about some of the things that he's even talking about. If he stood in front of that courthouse and said, New York City is a mess, and the mayor needs to fix this and fix that, and we need to help the homeless, whatever, then I would respect that.
I totally agree.
But that's not what he did, unfortunately.
No, that's not what he did, and it makes no sense. And I can understand radicals and stuff like that, like these stupid kids in Colombia and stuff like that.
Right.
I understand that. Because they're young. I mean, for a man his age, it's just crazy. Zach, you look great this morning as usual.
He looks like
Glad
he's
to
sleeping.
see you on the show. And unfortunately, I still say you're very handsome. You look like your mother. You don't look anything like your father. Listen, you have a great show. I'm listening. God bless.
Thank you for the best years of your life protecting that city.
By the way, my nurse. I just want to clarify this. My nurse will not. She does. She makes me shut off the show. She does all kinds of procedures on me, and she's not a nice woman. She's not a happy woman. In fact, I think she hates her job. And so when I want to watch the show, she said, "I'm sorry, Mr. Rusciello. I need to listen to this. I need to listen to that." She's just a crotchety old lady. But
wow.
So that's why, yeah. And I'm sorry for Andy, because Andy wants to talk to her. She did listen to one of Andy's skits. He was talking about prophylactics. That was the end of her. Talk to you later. Goodbye.
All right, John Rusciello checking in. Let me just finish up the comments, and then we'll talk to Zach. There's Andrew Plaginas. John Lennon died way before he got to disappoint you. Yeah, I know you're joking, but that's a very good possibility. Who knows what, who knows what would have happened if he had lived? He might have disappointed me. He may have risen to even higher status. Who knows? Zach looks like the filling for a weekend at Bernie's. He did. With the glasses on, you were just...
the dead guy?
Yeah, the dead guy. Yeah. All right. So I mentioned before you got here that you might be coming in, and Andy says he's not joking. All right. Well, my answer's still the same, so shut up. What?
You said that you mentioned that I might be coming in, so I went and you were wrong. But I'm kidding because I'm here.
Right. What? And I mentioned that you actually have something that you'd like to talk about. And it's perfect segue because we were just talking about Robert De Niro.
How's that a perfect segue? Is he an AI? Is Robert De Niro a robot?
All right, so there's two things going on with AI. The first thing with AI that we'll talk about, you told me last night that the Tribeca Film Festival.
Yeah. No, yeah.
De Niro is one of the people on the board. He was one of the people that started the Tribeca Film Festival.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the segue.
There we go.
That's the segue. All right, nice. So what about
Good segue.
So what happened with the Tribeca Film Festival?
Yeah, so I saw the news yesterday that they're screening AI-made films, basically. Like, it specifically said text to prompt, something like that. Whatever the word is, text to prompt, prompt to text, whatever it is. You basically, it's just, you type it in, and then a whole film is made just from the words that you typed in.
To the AI program, yeah. So that would be text to prompt, yeah.
Text to prompt, yeah. All right, yeah. So text to prompt. They're allowing text to prompt AI-generated films to be screened at Tribeca. And then what? What's going to happen after that? Are they going to look for some company to buy them after that? Are they then going to air them in movie theaters after that?
Well, all right.
It's the anger in my voice. That's what that is. You feel the anger. I'm angry. No AI. Sorry. I just realized I'm yelling right into the mic.
Wow. I'm getting scared. So you really think? Do you really think this is like what do you see coming out of this? Like what do you think is happening here?
Here's the way that I see things, right? I try not to be the guy who I try not to be one of those people that like bashes on all the new technology.
That's exactly what I was about to say to you. You're too young to be bashing new things.
That's because like when it comes to something like I know like a few years ago, people were upset when like electric cars were like a new thing.
Okay.
Like self-driving cars,
Self-driving cars, yeah.
But even electric cars, people have a problem with too.
Sure.
Like it's not just the self-driving. I always try not to complain about like when something new like that comes up because I always just see it as like it's gonna happen regardless.
Well,
in our worlds,
the fact that it's new, and when something is new, you have to see, how it pans out, where it goes.
That too, yeah. And I when it comes to the AI stuff, like I would like to accept it and be like, oh, who knows where it goes, but it just the way it's just looking, I just don't really see the benefit. Like I only see the benefit for lazy people. That's really it. And I take like back when it was just like the self-service register line in stores,
kiosks and all, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Like the self payout,
Yeah.
Like that I was like, all right, like it is taking people's jobs, but like, I kind of gave it some leeway because I know there's some people who just don't want to deal with customers. There's people that just are socially awkward. But that was kind of drawing a line. And I said to myself back then, like, if this gets any worse, I don't know if I can support it. And now, like, it got a whole lot worse. And, of course, it's affecting my well-being and anyone who's in my industry.
Okay. Well, all right. So, first off, let me point out that, yeah, I've said it on here a million times. If you guys who's ever been watching for a while, I'm a big union guy. I'm all about the labor movement. I'm all about jobs. So
right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I hate those kiosks too. I go to the supermarket. I do not use them. I don't care if I'm waiting on a long line. I'm going online. I'm going to the person. I will admit there's a CVS within walking distance to our house. They've gotten very smart about it. They don't even have somebody up at the register. So you really have no choice but to use the kiosk. So I do admit I use it at CVS, but I hate it.
That's why I do say though, like sometimes because some employees do just not want to take customers and they prefer you go to there. So that's why I was like giving it a little leeway.
Yeah, but that's a cop out. That's the job. If you don't like helping customers, well then get a different job because there's somebody else who wants that job, who is okay with customers. That's an employer cop out. That's an employer saying, "Oh, you guys don't like it." No.
Yeah.
That's a cop out.
It is at a point today where it's just like there's literally you can't even make any excuses for it. Like simply saying that like a text to prompt AI program to make a full movie, that's straight up just stealing our jobs.
But let me ask you this, and I'm not disagreeing at all. I'm just seriously asking. I'm not busting chops or anything. Don't you think people were saying the same thing when CGI first started becoming the norm?
No, not at all.
Why?
Because you have to make CGI. You still have to make that.
Yeah, but a person still has to put the info into the AI program. So it's still somebody putting it together, so to speak.
But it's not that's not how it is though. You have someone who creates it, like someone who designs something from scratch, just on a computer and not with a pen and pencil.
No,
but they're not typing. They're literally taking the mouse, or they'll have like an actual e-pen.
Right. I got that. My point is, whether it's somebody designing it or somebody typing into the AI program, it's still somebody. Like there's still a job there.
The typing to the AI program for CGI, that's all still very recent. It wasn't always.
Yeah. What does that mean? What's the difference? How long ago it was? I'm saying whenever it was, you still had some people complaining about it. No.
I don't know. I don't really see the similarity at all. It's just CGI is literally just like drawing. You're making it from scratch.
Right, but wasn't somebody complaining saying, "Hey, I could, I'm a stunt design, I'm a stunt person, I'm a special effects guy. Like I can make, instead of using CGI, let's actually film real people, jumping over a mountain. And we use that with special effects. Like CGI is all somebody at a computer. So wasn't somebody saying you're stealing jobs by just punching all that into a computer as opposed to building a set?
But you could say that, but at the same time, it's like it's not like it's just a job where someone just lets the computer do everything. You still have someone who trained for many years and put so many skills into it.
Right,
and,
but that's what I'm saying. So now, now you have somebody,
and stunt people and practical special effects are still being used too. It's not like CGI just replaced them. But it's like that was only done back then because you had no other choice.
Okay.
Nowadays, disregarding AI, nowadays, you can make CGI, still with full talent, putting the work into it. You can do it on less of a budget than when it was practical.
Do you think that AI is, are you thinking that an AI films will actually replace? Like you think it's going to come to a high enough prominence where it's going to, take jobs away and really get in the way of that?
100% honesty, yeah. Actually,
really, huh?
I don't know if it'll happen within my generation. I don't know if it'll even get there within my kids or grandkids' generation. But like it will happen at some point. Because another thing I want to talk about. Earlier today, there was like some announcement for a new streaming service coming. That's basically like when you have an idea of something that you want to watch, but it's never been made, you basically go to this AI system and you're like, hey, so this is what I want to watch. And you just type in whatever, and then it creates a whole TV show, movie or TV show, out of whatever you typed in. And literally the creators say like the way the future will be coming home from work, you go to your streaming service, you're like, all right, so I feel like watching a movie that's, I guess like a thriller flick starring Chris Hemsworth, and I want this actor to be the love interest, and I want to have this sort of twist at the end, and it'll create that for you. Then you go and start your dinner, and you watch something you just made like 5 seconds ago by typing on the computer. Now,
all right, go ahead.
Because it's just I think just when you look at the studios and the companies, they're lazy. They don't really they want the quickest buck.
Well, it's any company.
You see the way, I look at the way that they treat directors and upcoming filmmakers. A lot of them look for people that they can just control. So they could just put out something that caters best to their financial vision. And it's just, I think with AI, they're eventually just going to say that we're expendable, and they could just make whatever they want.
Well, there could be another.
I think people are eventually they're people like up and like newer, younger people.
Yeah.
That are growing up. They're going to see. They're not going to, since they weren't born into a world before that. They're going to see a world where their options are either the AI or putting in the work for many years, and it's like. Like if I want to make my own, like, I don't know, my own Avengers movie at home and I'm 13 years old, it's like, I'd rather not wait the next like 20 years till I can make it. I'd rather just see it now. What if I put myself in the role? It's like, you know, when I was 13, I probably would have done, when I saw Breaking Bad was like the show that like put me on this path today, right? You know, I probably would have been like, you know, because I wanted to make my own Breaking Bad at the time. You know, that's what
I was letting you watch Breaking Bad when you were 13.
That's when we first watched Breaking Bad, yeah.
Really?
I was 13 years old.
Oh, my goodness. I shouldn't have done that.
Well, you totally should have, because I wouldn't be here today.
Well, you would be here.
I wouldn't be here in this spot. Yeah. Metaphorically, not physically. I wouldn't be.
I don't know if I agree with that. You were already into movies before Breaking Bad.
No, Breaking Bad was when I decided that I wanted to be a screenwriter and an actor. It was Breaking Bad. Before that, I didn't have my mind set on that. You know, I'd give it to Breaking Bad. But anyway, my point is that you know, at the time, I always sat there saying like, you know, I want to do this. I want to make my own Breaking Bad. And then what I did after that, you know, I went and I watched interviews. You know, I studied movies and shows. You know, I studied scripts. You know, I acted scenes from other movies. You know, I wrote my own shit. You know, I did whatever I could. You know, if at the time, if the option was like, oh, create a full movie that'll actually be like a good quality movie, just by typing in some sentences, you know, I don't know where I would have ended up today. I don't know. I don't even. But my whole passion probably would be dead by now because I would have made everything already.
But I don't know if I fully agree with this because there's another way to look at this, and I'll use some examples.
Go ahead.
I think it was before you were born when satellite radio came out. There was no such thing as satellite radio. When it came out, people flipped out. Oh, this is going to kill terrestrial radio, the local radio stations. And it didn't. It all kind of leveled out. Local radio stations are still out there, and they're still doing as good as they've ever done. YouTube. I mean, when YouTube came out, you know, it was for home videos only, and you couldn't even put anything up on YouTube that was more than 5 minutes. Eventually, you know, now you can put stuff on there that goes for an hour. Now people are making their own movies and their own content and putting it on YouTube. I don't think that's, you know, I don't think the movie industry has been affected by something like YouTube where people are making their own movies with their iPhones. In fact, that too. Well, when the cameras on an iPhone first came out and people were like, oh, you can make movies with an iPhone? What is this world coming to? That hasn't affected the movie industry, and people are making movies with iPhones. But
it sounds like a ridiculous claim by the people then, because I would never expect that to replace movies. Some dude in their backyard with a phone is not equal to a whole crew with major cameras.
But when it first came out, people were wondering, where is this going to go? What's going to happen? It's the same thing. People, this is brand new. And it does sound ridiculous, you know, with AI, because you think about the animation or, you know, how it's not,
I don't think I agree with any of these. I don't know, because back then on YouTube, I feel like someone who's in film would never have looked at that and said like, oh, this is going to replace movies. It's like I would never look at someone in their backyard with an iPhone and think like, yeah, they're gonna steal.
But it's not just someone in the backyard. What was that movie a few years ago that won awards and they filmed it all on iPhones?
Okay, so and in the beginning, it was people in their backyard with phones. Nowadays, it's just another streaming service. So we might as well say Netflix was the one that was gonna take out all movies because they were technically the first streaming service. But that never did, and I don't think anyone ever expected Netflix to.
I didn't say anything about streaming services.
If we're talking about YouTube and having real movies now, then YouTube's like its own streaming service. You do have to pay to watch quality movies on there now, right?
Right.
But in the beginning, what you're talking about back then, it was just people on their iPhones in their basements or backyard.
But I was separating them. I was saying when YouTube came out, you know, as you were able to put more and more content on there, I think people did think it was going to affect TV shows and movies, and I don't think it has. Same with
But I don't.
same with iPhones. Using iPhones to make a movie, I don't think that's changed anything.
But I don't see why that would. I would never look at that and think, because it takes more than just holding up a phone. It takes more than holding up a camera to really make a movie that's going to draw people in and replace them.
Yeah, but like I said, there was that movie a few years ago. You guys remember the name of that movie?
Okay, but that's why I'm saying that, like, you know, that movie was an actual fucking movie at this point, you know? Like, it's just become its own streaming service. So then you might as well just talk about when Netflix first started.
What's become its own streaming service?
YouTube, bro. You have to pay to watch movies on YouTube.
Right, but I'm saying this movie that somebody filmed with an iPhone, whether it was on a streaming service or
Was it some dude in their backyard, or were they someone that actually trained and holding their skills for it?
This was a major motion picture, but it was used filming with an iPhone or iPhones, I guess. It was a major motion picture that won Academy Awards, and my point is that didn't change the industry.
So it was a major motion picture. So it was produced by a big studio.
Yeah.
Okay, so
or maybe a big studio bought it. I don't know if I don't know when the big studio got involved, but eventually it was distributed by a major company.
That's still not anything replacing films. That's just someone advertising.
That's what I'm saying. That when
when
the news came out that iPhones were being used, that's when people were like, oh, this is the future. But it hasn't. Just like this might not be.
That. Just someone using an iPhone to make.
But some people did. Again, that was the headline.
They do that in Hollywood too. I've heard of, maybe not full movies, but I've heard of like scenes where, like, you know, if they just want a quick scene, they will just pull out their phone.
Right, but what I'm saying is people at the time were saying, oh, this is going to change things, and it really hasn't. So I'm saying maybe this won't change things either. I'm saying there's another way of looking at it.
Well, my overall point is combating you on the whole YouTube thing. My overall point is that AI is completely different, because all that, that's all people with skill, people honing their skills, taking their time to, really get good at it and get passionate about it. And then, YouTube was like an avenue for them. It allowed them to advertise.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe this can become an avenue, no?
An avenue? I don't see how.
You don't think it takes any talent to... I mean, you're right. Anybody, just like with YouTube, any schmo can post anything they want. Some of it's good, some of it's bad. This will be the same. Somebody with no talent may put in a movie on the streaming service, but some great writers may make something on the streaming service that a lot of people will watch, and maybe this person will make some money and will put out some quality content, or maybe a movie studio will buy that and make it like a better quality, like a real movie.
How much of a cop out is that? Now we're going back to the whole cop out. This is the exact same as the employers at CVS now. It's like, you didn't learn how to use a camera properly and freaking film it like that kid with his iPhone.
But it could be an avenue for a writer.
You didn't learn how to write it properly. You didn't learn how to write out all that dialogue and how to write action in a script. No, you just told an AI what kind of character you want, and to figure out all that dialogue and the action when it makes it.
Okay.
You didn't set the lighting for the scene. The AI. You didn't cast the actors for the scene. You didn't figure out your way to talk to investors, to talk to actors. You didn't set up
But as from a writing,
so much that you don't. Even from a writing perspective, all you're doing is just, create this movie that has this kind of plot.
Right, but all right, but hang on. I have a question. From a writing perspective, can a writer actually put a script into the AI and then the AI just brings it to life, or it doesn't work that way?
Who knows? But I'm sure that they'll probably make something.
Because that could be an avenue for writers, and that's what I'm saying. That I'm trying to find some kind of positive or just another way to look at it.
If they want to do something for up and coming filmmakers, where like people like me who don't have a budget are allowed to make some sort of like treatment film using AI, but it's something that shouldn't be allowed to be distributed. Something that's like, I take this to show to investors, hey, this is a treatment film based off of a script that I wrote that an AI created. I would like to do this for real. That I'm actually okay with. That sounds like a good idea. If you're talking like the avenue, like the way to get yourself
maybe
up.
This could be one of those ways to get something seen.
But the way that they are using it, that's not what this is telling me. It's just telling me that they're just too lazy to do it themselves.
What is this called? Do you know?
What is what called?
This streaming service.
I don't know. The thing I said, the thing I looked at didn't say a name.
And did it say when it's coming out, when it's being released to the world?
It's being worked on. I don't know, because I just also see it as like, to these studios, like it's just like if a studio wants a blockbuster movie, it's like they can make 5 of them all in a row in one sitting and then be like, all right, so we have ourselves covered for the next 5 years. And it's like, what point do you ever have to hire any of us again? What, when you want to make like the small time movies that you don't even really care about? It's like, I gotta prove to you why now my movie's worth putting on when you have all this list of blockbuster movies from AI?
Yeah, but
that's probably what it's going to become.
But that's the case already.
It's not.
The red tape to get a script seen, it's crazy. You have to get an agent. An agent has to hand it in.
I'm okay with all that, but you make my competition AI to where it's like there is no competition.
Oh,
it's just the AI pumps it all out. All more genius than I will ever be.
I wasn't defending it or saying that. I'm just pointing out that it's already super hard to get a script approved. That's all I'm saying.
But still, like everything that you're comparing AI to, I just feel like it's so uncomparable just because of just the lack of work that goes into the AI. Everything else, like the whole YouTube thing, whatever else we've mentioned, like it all is just like, it's all I'm hearing is like people who put in a work that eventually got themselves to a position. Like CGI and YouTube, like maybe they kind of like replace certain things. Even the radio thing, maybe that also replaced local radio. But it's also like, people put in work for those and worked hard to get to those positions, It's like, that's why I
agree with 100%. You work hard, you'll get it.
Yeah. Like, that's why I started out this discussion saying that, like, when it comes to new technology, I try not to be the guy who bashes it. Because I do think, like, new technology is always going to happen no matter what. There's always going to be something that'll replace the old thing.
Right.
And that's why I do think AI will do that. It's a new technology. We're going to get a repeat of the past. I don't think authentic filmmakers will all be gone, but I do think that it's going to become more saturated with AI.
It is hard for me to imagine real movies not, or less of them being made. It's hard for me to imagine that.
See, I just see like the people I grow up with, and then the people that grow up younger than me, and it's like they're getting more technology based, more kind of. I hate being that guy who talks about the younger generation like that. Because it's really I just know that like when we get into future generations and technology is really up there, it's gonna be a world kind of, like WALL-E. Everyone's sitting in a chair in WALL-E.
Oh, that movie.
And the
WALL-E?
robots all around them are doing everything. Like, it's gonna look kind of like that. Like, I'm not saying everyone's gonna be fat sitting in a chair, but everyone's gonna be walking around having AI. Everyone's gonna walk around having AI do everything for them, and people are gonna get tired of waiting for studios and filmmakers to take a few years to make their idea. Eventually, like I said, you're gonna have a kid who's gonna want to just see the next Marvel movie with, right away. Or they'll rather see it with their idea instead of what's the studio idea. They'll want to see a movie with their face in it.
I don't want to even know what Andy Pajanos is going to type in for his AI movie. Let's read some comments, and then we'll get back. We'll get back into this. Wow. All right, hang on.
It's not all bad, but it's the way I see it. It's more bad than good.
John Russell, go get them, Zach. Fremder. All of the smart devices that are listening to us throughout the day and night are collecting data just from hearing us talk. We're doing it ourselves, and we don't even realize it.
See, like that's another thing too, because I would love to sit here and say like, oh, that's just a conspiracy theory, but it's been proven that our phones and devices are listening to us. So you do have to wonder, like, are they listening to us for the reasons that they tell us, or is this being stored somewhere?
Right. Have you ever seen how many artists they need to make any CGI? Yes, I have.
CGI is a lot of work.
What Zach is talking about is one person. I'm not I'm not. I wasn't. I wasn't battling. I wasn't saying it takes one person for CGI. I wasn't saying it doesn't take a team. My point was that regardless of how many people, it was still some people still found it threatening to their livelihood. That's the only point I was making there.
It was in those times that I would say like, oh, deal with it,
right?
Because the CGI people are still putting in their work,
right?
It's this AI crap that it's like you're just someone at home in a basement. I spent the last like right now I'm 11 years deep into this. Breaking Bad was 11 years ago for me that I saw it, and that's when I started really working towards this goal.
Jules says you're a stump person. Jules, did you get my text this morning? I sent Jules a picture. The Governor's announced that Colin Quinn is playing. I think it's sometime in July, I think it is. Go to govs.com. Andy, practical effects versus CGI is not the same thing. I didn't say it was the same thing. The only thing it has in common is that people found it threatening when it was first coming out. CGI takes the same, if not more people as practical effects. Okay. That's an excellent point. The people that do the CGI still have to know how to work the program. Absolutely right. Yeah, Tony, tell Zach how he feels. I didn't tell Zach how to feel. Movies are great because they are collaborations of many different arts and artists. Agreed. Fremder, using a computer and computer graphics is just an extra tool to create what the director is looking for. Sometimes you need a hammer and nails, sometimes computer, yet both require a crew that is good at both. Agreed. My streaming service isn't as good as it used to be, says Fremder. I guess that's what happens when you turn 43. Fremder, AI should stand for argumentatively irate. Zach is a genius, says Jules. Frank Kafora is watching. Good morning, Frank. Well, this sounds nice and depressing. John Rochella, what's wrong with getting fat and sitting in a chair? I do that all day. Plajanos, you made a labor comparison between practical and CGI. Right. And I was just stating a fact that some people did, whether it was right or wrong, some people were threatened by it. That's all. As a creative, says Frank Kafura, knowing that lazy effers are going to AI than use humans makes me eager to retire. No, and I agree. I agree 100%. I'm not even. I wish there was less CGI. To be honest with you, go back to the beginning of film and watch Buster Keaton.
I don't agree.
That stuff. Well, I know you don't, but that's I'm always for the human element. Just like baseball, they're using the replay and they're getting into computerized umpiring. That one of the reasons I love baseball was the human element. Jules already got her tickets for Colin Quinn. Okay,
I'm with you on that, but I do think that I do not have a problem with CGI at all. I do think that
I don't have a problem with it. My only problem is I feel it's used too much. That's my only problem with it.
I think it always depends on the film. I think when Marvel's criticized for it, it's like, come on, it's comic books. What else are you gonna do?
Yeah, I'll agree with you there.
When it's something like, I guess like a regular grounded action movie,
right? Like a car chase or something. Yeah.
Just when absolutely necessary.
Right.
It always depends on the film.
Like you take a movie like The Blues Brothers, man. I mean, that was part of the beauty of that movie. That's what made it so funny. All these crazy car wrecks and these crazy car chases. There's no CGI in that because it was. I think the human element is what makes a movie like that work so well. What made it so funny was to see all this real. I think if that movie was made today and it was made with CGI, I don't think it would have the same effect.
I do agree. There are definitely, like I said, it depends on the movie. There's definitely some films where like they're better with the practical. Like I think the best recent example is Oppenheimer. Yeah. Because that nuke, I believe, was real.
Yes. Yes, you're absolutely right about that.
I want to say I don't think it was like.
Well, it wasn't a real nuke, obviously.
Yeah, it wasn't a real nuke. They did it in like some sort of tank or something like that.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, and it looks so good in the movie.
I love that movie.
That was a great movie. So it definitely depends. And I do think the major factor, like the main reason why I'm okay with CGI is because I understands the budget concerns, just all the concerns making a movie, the money making a movie.
Yeah,
I understand why you would be like, all right, let's go to CGI because that's going to cost way less, and it's going to be less of a chance for any accidents to happen.
My first response to any company when they talk about budgets, my answer is always the same. And sometimes it may not be completely on point, but it's still my answer. If some of the fat cats in that company, if they took a little bit less so that the product can be better, by putting more money into it, well, then personally I feel that's the way to go.
Wait, what are you? I misunderstood.
So you take any company, the heads of the company, if they took a little less money, so that money,
like their own pay. I got you.
Yes. That's an arguable point, but
sometimes, I mean, for when it comes to big studios like that, sure. I mean, we know that there's definitely the big studios could definitely handle all the money issues,
right?
But they're not all like studios like A24. Well, A24 is kind of getting big, but they weren't always big when I knew A24 in the old days. They were like still small.
I ate 23.
Okay.
Get it? 8. 20. I ate them.
I didn't say 8. I said A24.
A24?
A24.
Oh, well, I never heard of A24 or 824, so that's why I made the stupid joke.
Yes, you have. You know A24.
Do I?
You definitely have.
What they make?
You definitely have seen many movies by A24.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Uncut Gems.
I didn't see that.
Okay, well that's A24.
Was that good? Did you see that?
No, I really thought you saw that. I could have sworn I remember you telling me.
I wanted to see it when it came out, but I never saw it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's A24, unless I'm wrong. But that was one that I know that you know.
Frank C. The only good thing, the cool thing about CGI is that it keeps Alec Baldwin away from guns. He also says the Blues Brothers' overindulgence of car crashes was the bit, and it was hilarious. When it comes to Oppenheimer, Chris Nolan is a genius. Fremder, human element is great for car chases, but there's no way you could do stuff like Fast and Furious without a CGI crew.
Okay, let's be real about something. When it comes to Fast and Furious, what kind of action movie puts a car out in space and has people sitting in it having a conversation?
It's not a good argument there, Fremder.
I'm sorry, but no action movie should ever have that, CGI or practical.
Yeah.
What happened there? I didn't even see the movie, so maybe I'm talking out of my ass right now. Maybe but I doubt it makes sense. And Fast and Furious, it always looked like a grinded action movie to me.
Fremder says sometimes VFX companies go bankrupt just to get a big film under their belt and then reopen under another name. Okay. Frank C. Uncut Gems was well done, but depressing as F. Okay. Yeah, I always wanted to see it. I never saw it. But I believe you. If you're telling me I saw A24 movies, I believe you.
I guarantee you, if you look up A24 movies right now, you'll find a whole shit ton.
I don't need to. I believe you. Heavy Metal put a car into place. All right. And that.
Wait, what?
There was a movie called Heavy Metal. Probably came out in, I don't know, early 80s. And Frank's saying, they put a car into space in that movie. Yeah.
Well, that must have been practical then. Or was CGI in the 80s?
No, I think it was done with animation, I think.
Oh. All right, now that's actually kind of cool. Animation and master puppetry. Those are two things that the film industry are sleeping on.
I thought he was going to say something else. Right. I agree.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the film industry is missing those adult film. No, okay.
You're right. Puppetry
and animation, when those are used in movies, like they actually look so much better than CGI, and just a little bit under, like a little bit worse than practical. But they are
Yoda. Look at Yoda.
The
CGI is like cartoon. The puppetry from the original movies was amazing.
Yeah. The only problem with Yoda, with Puppet Yoda.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I said, what's the problem? I said,
oh, the only problem is his eyes. When you look at his eyes, then you could tell that it's fake, because they'll never move on their own. Mm-hmm. They don't change expression. That's the only thing. But with nowadays, what you can do, where what the studio was thinking was like, oh, just do the whole thing puppet or do the whole thing CGI. But here's what I would do.
Here's what you would do.
Which I think I've heard other people say this too. It's like you do the puppet Yoda, and then when it comes to the eyes and the face, you CGI over the face. That's where that's the point. That's the part where CGI becomes, where you only use CGI when absolutely necessary. Because, the puppet looks real. The eyes are the only thing that looks fake. CGI the eyes, it's all real. It all looks real.
But I don't. First of all, I don't know how that would look.
It would look great. It would look perfect.
But I'll tell you, even when the movie, like when Star Wars came out, like I don't recall anybody ever sitting there saying, "Oh, that doesn't look good because that's a puppet." Like they were able to close his eyes, but you would get no. But my point is, though, you would get a feel for, even though it was a puppet, it was a very well made puppet, and you could still get like an idea of what he was going through, what he was feeling when watching it, without the ability to move his eyes back and forth.
Okay, but do you want the idea, or do you want to go all the way?
Sometimes I think it depends on the movie. But I think sometimes, you just go for the feel, and other times you could go all the way. But again, it depends on the movie.
The idea, or because to me the feel comes with the visualization. No, I don't get the feel just from the idea. You tell me, yo, I had this idea, but I couldn't do it because of this.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying when you're saying feel, I'm talking about the puppet. You get the feel from the puppet. Star Wars, you get. Like, again, not once did I ever watch the Yoda puppet saying, oh, if only he could move his eyes there. Like, no, you knew, you got a vibe from him, whether it was a good vibe, like you got the correct vibe, whatever he was supposedly feeling at the time, based on what we actually saw, not ever thinking, oh, if only I had the CGI Yoda for that scene. Like, it worked.
I always looked at that scene and saw, like, the eyes are the only thing off.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's different for you because you come up in a world with CGI. I'm saying in a world before CGI, which I came up when, you totally get the feel. You get it.
But the only reason for that was because you knew that there was no other choice. Nowadays, when there is a choice, and like I can sit here and go like, let's not use too much CGI, only when absolutely necessary. So that's why I say, like, the eyes, if you want it to look complete, you want it to look perfect.
So are you saying that if Yoda was done today as a puppet, what happened there?
Well, it's just me leaning, probably.
Yeah, but I'm just, I don't know, it feels like the camera zoomed in, and unless I did that before by accident. Are you saying that if I watched Yoda today, if I saw the puppet, okay, would you be? Are you saying that I would get that I wouldn't appreciate it like I did back then?
No, I'm not saying that I look at Yoda without appreciation. I think the puppet Yoda is the best Yoda. Right. I'm just saying that, like, if Star Wars came out today and they made it the same way, like the first one, A New Hope.
Yeah.
Not any like the re-releases.
Well, he wasn't in A New Hope.
But you know what I mean.
So he really didn't look good in that.
Like the original Star Wars is what I'm talking about. Like,
I know. I was just being stupid.
I guess you go with any of the original three. Just before the re-releases, before they re-released them with CGI. When you look at the original versions of them, if they were made today the same way, right? Like, the only CG in there would just be like the little added things just to make it perfect, where the practicals failed a little bit. Like, parts where, like, there's some parts where you could tell, like,
sure,
C-3PO is some dude in a suit. There's parts where, like, R2-D2's, like, he's not moving around as flexible enough as a normal AI would. Oh, that's because, he's just some dude in a can,
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
The lightsabers,
But I'm okay with the limitations because I like the human element. So I'm okay with limitations like that. But again, but having said that, I know that's not probably the popular belief.
But when you look, like, those are all people who put in their hard work to make that come true, which is the same as today with CGI.
Okay.
All people who put in the hard work.
Sure.
Now, I think, like, like I said, when you go full CG for Yoda, yeah, it was probably hard work for them to make that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
To make that work.
I stepped on his foot.
it was probably hard work for them to make Yoda work, for like the CG Yoda, but it doesn't look as great, you know. So I think, you know,
I'll tell you what I
find the
really
best of both worlds, you know.
Well, I'll tell you what I really think is better before CGI is just straight up animation. Like you and I watched.
That's what I said before.
Right, like you and I watched. What's the superhero thing that we just watched?
Invincible.
Fun show. But animation wise, if you go back to the 40s when there were those Superman cartoons that were made in the 40s, I'll take that animation over the animation of that type of animation of Invincible anytime. And we used to watch it when you were a kid. We have DVDs of it. I'll have to show you.
I remember.
The animation was incredible. And that was all by hand back then. It was incredible. It was invincible.
Okay, sure.
See what I did there?
The by hand stuff was definitely like much more respectable. I do think when it comes to back then, you either get a hit or a miss. You could either get those Superman cartoons, or you could get the Planet of the Apes cartoon.
Oh, but those were later. Later.
Okay, but for being later, it's got much worse animation. You know, so like there is
I honestly don't remember them. I don't remember those cartoons.
That's
well
honestly
enough.
just the best example I could think of, since I'm not from that time.
Yeah,
but I'm sure that there's other examples of animation. I'm just saying, like, you either had really good animation, like people who really got good at their hand drawing, or you had people that just couldn't, and they just, you know, it was just so like just a blink, you know, nothing's moving besides their mouth, and just like,
yeah,
you know, like that. That's when the animation was a little cheesy.
So Frank C says the Happy Time Murders best use of puppets. I'm not familiar with that. The Happy Time Murders? I don't know what that is. My apologies.
Is that a Muppets thing?
I don't know. I think it's important that any effect work within context of the film doesn't matter if it's practical or CGI. Maybe. Fremder, what? You want to read that comment again? I think it's important that any effects work within the context of the film. Let me start that over. I think it's important that any effect work within the context of the film. Doesn't matter if it's practical or CGI.
Within context of the film.
Yeah.
What is
like a Star Wars? You know, you need a lot of CGI for a space sci-fi thing.
That's what I was trying to. Yeah.
Where a movie like The Blues Brothers wouldn't require a lot of CGI. Yeah. I think that's what he's trying to say.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before.
Fremder. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I said before.
Okay.
Yeah.
When a VFX company like Industrial Light and Magic do entire movies with VFX, looks amazing. When they start to sub it out to price costs to other companies, that's when it begins to look a little off. Yeah, I agree with that. Plagianos, check out Blue Eye Samurai. Animation on that is dope AF. All right, Blue Eye Samurai. In other words, it must work with the story. Right, so that's basically, yeah, so we did understand him correctly.
I'm reading Andrew's comment because I missed it.
What, Frunder? He's saying when a company uses VFX till it looks amazing, but then when they farm it out to smaller companies to cut costs, it doesn't look as good, is basically what he's saying. All right, let me write that down. So we're talking about, what was it? Happy Time Murders. So what is that? Is that that's puppets? Like, so is it a comedy? Or is it like a real murder thing with puppets? What was it? Blue Eye Samurai. If Don was here, he'd start doing a rap. I'm a Blue Eye Samurai. I'll punch you in the eye because you're so bi and you're also so high because I'm a Blue Eye Samurai.
What just happened? Did you just start trying to rap?
Yes, that's what I just said. Andy recommended Blue Eye Samurai, so I said if Don was here, he would start to rap because Blue Eye Samurai rhymes. So that was my impression of Don doing a rap. Blue Eye Samurai.
Yo, I'm gonna watch the Blue Eye Samurai. I'm gonna watch it with my blue eye. Because my eyes are blue.
I know, but that was already used. Blue Eye Samurai.
No, Samurai.
Right. Blue Eye Samurai. That's the name
I'm
of it.
not rhyming. I said Blue Eye Samurai in the first bar, so that ended with Samurai.
Right.
So
But then
the
you
second-
rhymed.
the
Right.
the second rhyme ends with I.
But you got to come up with a different word. Blue Eye Samurai. That rhymes. And then you
That's-
said with my eye.
With my blue eye. That's the whole point. It's a pun,
so you're
'cause I
just
have
using
a
it
blue
again.
eye. It's a double meaning. you
Ah.
don't understand rapping, then.
I
You
understand
use double, No, you use double meanings in rap.
Yes, I know. But
No, you don't.
I do know.
You don't seem to.
I totally know. I'm just saying. I'm saying you should just use different words. It's easy. Anybody can, even though it has another.
Yo, I'm
another
gonna watch
meaning.
the Blue Eye Samurai. I said, yo, this movie's so fire.
What?
Movie's so fire. Like fire.
But now that's not the whole word. That's cheating.
That's rapping. No, it's not. That's rapping.
All right, so that I don't
That's
know
how they
about
talk in rap.
Do they?
Yes.
But that's a. No, see, what's the originality of that?
You're stupid.
There's no originality to that.
You don't know.
Well, then
the
you can
hip-hop
rhyme any
culture,
word.
though.
You can rhyme any word if you're going to cut
No.
it short to make it rhyme.
You can't. No.
Sure.
So I can rhyme samurai with nose if I cut it short.
Yeah.
What?
Blue Eye Samurai with my eye.
You're a dumbass.
But you could. Blue Eye Samurai. Well, I mean, you just did it. Samurai Fi.
Yo, talking about the Blue Eye Samurai, and then I said he ain't a straight up guy.
Perfect. That's perfect. That's exactly what I'm talking about right there. That was a good one. And I am straight up. If I wasn't straight up, I would have said, yeah, you shortening a word is great, and I loved it.
Why don't you rap it back to me? Let's see your rapping skills.
You so dumb, you make my brain numb.
Wasn't even a bar.
What is it? What?
Wasn't even a bar.
Sure it was.
No, you just. Where's the flow?
You so dumb, you make my brain go numb. There you go. That worked.
Okay.
I don't think you're dumb, by the way.
Well, I don't think you're a straight up guy, by the way. No. See that? See how we just barred right off of each other? I mean, it was the same word, but that could have been a bar going back and forth. So we both kind of ended that in the same rhythmic way.
Let's see. It's an R-rated comedy. Oh, Happy Time Murders. It's an R-rated comedy, very, very funny. The puppet gore is hilarious. Oh, I got to check. I have never heard of this movie. When did it come out, Frank? You're stupid. Wait, this isn't Father's Day. Talking Tony's advice on rap is like... Oh, taking Tony's advice on rap is like taking his advice on food. Or like taking Andy's advice on mustaches. What? Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
Well, now, bar that up. Rhyme someone with mustaches.
You and your silly mustaches makes you want to go out and get some pistaches. Two white guys arguing about rap is the pinnacle of comedy. Absolutely right.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, Carol says this is intense. Hi, Carol. Yeah, pretty intense. Some companies use different programs, which is why subbed out footage doesn't always look like... See, I'm going to kill Mark Hirschman. I'm going to kill him. That guy complains more than anybody when people text him while he's doing his show. I'm trying to read the comments on my show, and I'm having trouble because he keeps texting me. So I'm going to kill him. Hershey and the Keeks is on Wednesday this week at 9 instead of tomorrow night at 9. And look, it's still coming in. I'm going to kill that little Jew bastard.
What?
Oh, I'm just joking. Except for the
Kanye,
fact
like-
he's still texting me.
Because he's probably watching right now and he sees you arguing about it.
actually
He's like,
might
you
be.
know, I might as well just keep on
It
texting.
actually might be. Some companies use different programs, which is why subbed out footage doesn't always look like it matches the in-house footage. This is why the compositor is so important. Well said, Fremder. We're getting a serious Fremder today. There haven't been too many jokes. Before you got here, I congratulated Mandy Sill for graduating college.
Congratulations, Mandy.
Zach's cousin.
My cousin. Does she watch this?
Does she watch it? No, but Don does.
Don does. So Don will relay the message. Hey, Don, how you doing? What's up, sir?
Don, I believe, right at this moment, is driving back from North Carolina on his way home.
Oh, so he's not watching.
He might be. He might have it on his speakers, or he's
texting and driving.
No, I didn't say it. He's not. There's been no comments. And speaking of Don, I didn't get to talk about this yet. This past Thursday night, actually this month, this was in May. The month of May was a very interesting month for us. On Thursday, May 18th, no, May 16th. On Thursday, May 16th, Zach and Don and myself and Lisa came too. We went to check out the premiere of Christina Can, which I did talk about on here. That was on a Thursday, May 16th. The following Thursday, May 23rd, which was Frank's birthday, we were in here. But that night, which we also talked about, was the Long Island Prep fundraiser that I was loosely involved in. And I was there with Jackie. And that was a good night. And then Greg Kritikos was there. Greg was hosting the event. And then the following Thursday, this past Thursday, May 30th, Zach, Don, and I went out to Astoria, Queens, where Greg Kritikos was hosting a viewing of his pilot, and it was called The Connie Show. And Jules was there. We had a great time with Jules. Natalie Goggin was there. Some fun comedians, a lot of comedians in the movie. Ivory Fields is in the movie. Jules is in it. Helene Witt is in the movie. And I feel like I'm leaving people out. Oh, Carla Okerson is in it. And Carrie Karavis is in it. Sorry, I didn't mean to cover Zach's face. Hang on.
Wait, why do I not remember Carrie being in it?
You don't remember Carrie being in the movie?
Why do I not remember that scene?
He walks outside the pizza place, sees her coming, so he runs back in and he slams the door, and she's yelling at him through the door about alimony payments. Yeah.
It's weird, 'cause I don't remember that. And I even remember, like, when it ended, I was like, I didn't see Carrie. Maybe she's in the next episode.
No, she was in it.
I don't know. I must have just completely missed it.
There's the picture from it. We went to the pilot screening, had a great time. Nice little place. In fact, here's a picture of the place. It's called Ammonia. In fact, if you look below, you see Don.
Oh, hey, Don.
It says Ammonia Cafe. Right behind the C, you see me. In between the C and the A, that's Natalie Goggin, great comedian. Yeah, we had a great time. I thought the pilot was fantastic. I liked it a lot. I thought it was shot well. I thought it was funny, and I really enjoyed it. So we had a good time. They had a good turnout. They had a Q&A after, which I thought was interesting. It was well done. So congrats to Greg. Congrats to the producer George and the director Robert. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. We had a great time, and they're going to be throwing that pilot up of the Connie Show. They're going to be throwing it up on YouTube, I believe, next week, if I'm not mistaken. So keep your eye out for that. I think you'll enjoy it. And the pilot for Christina Can, hopefully, that'll be showing up somewhere. I thought that came out pretty well also. Which you guys know, we talked about it a lot in here. We filmed it here, so we had a lot of the comedians that were in it. In here, Fudge is in the movie. Fudge the comedian. Some other great comedians, Dara DeMott, and I'm in it. And I thought that came out pretty good too. And speaking of Fudge, we also did that in May, just last week. you and Don filmed a short with Fudge that took place in our house. And our friend Mary Capone was in this short as well.
Yep. Two
and
really good actors.
Yeah, Fudge is he's a tremendous actor.
Yeah, I think he really blew Don away.
Yeah, Don was very impressed.
Don was director, I was cameraman.
Yeah, and it's a short film. It's only going to be about 10 minutes, but I think it's going to be really good. I really like it. I'm excited about it. And Don and I are working on some other shorts that we're going to film this summer. And some of these shorts will be in the Comic Sans universe.
I believe this one that we just did is...
Actually, it could
2,
be.
right?
It could be a standalone, but I think he might try to work it into the Comic Sans world.
I think it's already... I think
yeah, that's already the plan?
I believe he told me about... Unless he was talking about another short, but he was telling me about the character's returns at one point.
Oh, all right, cool. Jules, Don biting into the lettuce was a classic. So, yeah, so at the Connie show screening, there was... So the restaurant, we didn't know the place. I don't know. Queens and Brooklyn, I don't know well at all. So we're in this restaurant, but we thought, Jules, Don, Zach, and I thought it was a bakery. All they had on display were baked goods. So Zach, so we didn't have, Zach and I didn't have dinner.
Dude, and that burger looks so good. I wish I just ordered from there. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, it's all right. So Zach said, hey, Zach looked on his phone. He's like, hey, there's a burger place right across the street. He says, can I get burgers? I was like, well, ask the restaurant, make sure it's okay. So he did. He asked the guy. And the guy was like, yeah, it's no problem. Go ahead. So you left to go get the burgers. I found out while you were gone that this place we're in and the burger place is the same owner. So that's why they were okay with it. So, but they got the orders wrong.
That's so funny.
Don has lost, I think, 20 or 25 pounds so far. He's trying to lose weight. And so congratulations, he's lost some weight, but he's trying to lose more.
Oh, yeah.
So he wanted a burger.
He told me a lettuce burger.
A lettuce burger. He didn't want the bun. He wanted the burger inside lettuce.
Yeah, that was because when I was ordering it, she thought I was... Because, I was ordering 3 burgers. But
Right.
I think she thought I was asking for lettuce buns on the second burger. And I was trying to, make it... I was trying to be like, no, it's 2 separate.
Right.
And then I think she thought I just wanted lettuce buns separately.
Right.
Just only the buns.
So that's what happened. Zach comes back with the bag, and we're opening everything up, and there's just a head of lettuce with no burger in it. So Don was like... And then at one point he did take a bite, just joking around. He did take a giant bite out of it, which was really funny. But then you were nice enough to go back,
Yeah, I went back, 'cause why not?
and get it taken care of, which was very nice of you. But yeah, that was very funny.
It
had you almost had to be there though, like to see Don open this up and then just see like a head of lettuce, like who goes to a place like that and just orders a head of lettuce, So it was kind of funny, and just to see him open it up and just see this head of lettuce without anything else. It was funny.
The kicker though was when we're sitting and watching the movie, and you just decided to ask the waiter if they got burger.
Right. So what happened was,
the kicker.
so Zach, when he came back with the head of lettuce, he handed me what he thought was my order. And it was a plain, you guys know I don't like cheese, I don't like ketchup, I just like meat and bun.
Yeah, it was my order.
I didn't know, because you handed it to me. So I see a plain cheeseburger. So I'm like, oh, they screwed this up. They got a plain cheeseburger. I didn't know it was Zach's.
I thought you would know that it was just, you just had to switch it.
No, because it was plain. I know you like a little ketchup at least. So I just figured, no, this is mine. It was wrong.
No, I like
So Zach went back. And so Jules turns to me. She's like, oh, so you're not going to eat that? I said, no, I'm not going to eat that at all. So she ate it. So Zach came back, and he's like, why'd you eat my burger? I go, what are you talking about? He goes, that was mine. I said, well, you handed it to me, so I thought it was mine. And I just thought it was wrong. So meanwhile, he went back. He fixed Don's order, but then he also pulled out my burger, the plain burger. So I said, all right, you eat it. I said, that was wrong of me to give your burger away. I mean, I didn't do it on purpose, but either way. So you just eat it. So we did. He had his burger and fries, but now I'm sitting there starving, and I wasn't going to ask him to go back a third time. Plus the show had started. So a waitress walked by, and because I thought I saw this waitress bring real food to another table. So I just took the chance. She walked by me. I stopped her. I said, "Do you guys have real food here?" And she was like, "What?" I said, "Excuse me, I'm sorry." I said, "I'm looking for a burger. Do you guys have burgers?" She says, "Oh, yeah, I can get you a burger and fries." I'm like, "Oh, perfect." So after all that, we then find out that we could have gotten it right there from that very restaurant, which I'm wondering if maybe they have somebody just running back and forth across the street because it looked like the same burger that you would have gotten there. So
really, it looked better to me.
Oh, did it look better?
Yeah.
Really?
But if it's the same guy, then I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, Jules is saying she's so sorry. Jules, you have nothing to be sorry about. It was my fault.
Jules, don't worry.
Totally my fault.
It was just like, it was funny because it was also like that picture that you showed of the place. As when I handed you the cheeseburger, and I was trying to ask you if I handed you the cheeseburger or the real burger, but I just went like, "Is that right?" And then I couldn't hear what you were saying. And at the same time, the photographer was taking the picture and was constantly asking me to get out of the way. And I'm like, "Bro, I'm trying to figure this out."
No, he wasn't asking you to get out of the way.
Everyone was telling me to get out of the way.
No, I was telling you to get in the. I was telling because we were talking about the burger. I was just trying to tell you to hold on for a second. Let's just take this picture first. I was telling you to get out of the way. I was just saying smile for the camera.
Oh, okay. That's not how I didn't take it that way because he had just came up to like take things off of our table, and then one of the
yeah, he was a weird dude, that photographer.
Word. What was the name of the girl that was next to Jules again?
That was Natalie.
Natalie, yeah. Because then I remember she made a comment about how he's not professional.
Oh, did she? Yeah.
Yeah. So like as that was happening, and I'm like, so I thought everyone was just telling me to get out of the way. So that's why I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna go back and I don't even know if he had the right burger. That's why I was like that in that moment.
And then that same day, I got a new phone, and as you can recall, it wasn't really working properly until when we got home at the end of the night and you fixed it.
Yeah.
After you fixed it for me, sure enough, that's when your comment came in, asking if the burger was right. But because you had texted me while you were in the burger place, but I didn't get it until 11 o'clock at night because the new phone wasn't completely set up right.
I even forgot I texted you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't even think about that when I.
It's now a hallmark moment. Yes. Frank says I just like meat and bun. Was this stolen from Grindr? No. No, that's how I eat my. I mean, yeah, you're right, but meat in a bun with no condiments. Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Last night, I want you guys to know. Last night we went to Lisa's mother's house for dinner, and I had a steak.
Great dinner.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
And one of Lisa's brothers was there, Uncle Mike. And we got to talking about cooking steak, barbecuing, and Mike came right out and said, he goes, if you barbecue a steak right, you don't need to put steak sauce or anything on it. Just the way you cook it, it comes out perfect. And I jumped up. I was like, I've been saying that for years. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. You don't need condiments. You don't need ketchup. You don't need steak sauce. You don't need anything.
Want to know what's funny?
What's funny?
Because for so many years of my life, I didn't know people did that with their steak, and I always just watch you make just steak.
Yeah. You grow up with a weirdo like me. That's what happens.
But I didn't see it as weird. I thought that was normal.
Well, yeah.
And then occasional times where you gave me some steak. It wasn't until maybe 2 years ago, someone from work made me a steak, and they were putting all this stuff on it, and I was like, and I was cool with it because I knew it was gonna taste really good.
Well, yeah, you're not a weirdo.
But I remember thinking at the time, I was like, oh, that's interesting. He's putting stuff on it. I'd never seen that before. As time goes by, I realize, you're the only one who doesn't put stuff on it. But you're all right, though. Since I grew up with you cooking like that, anytime you gave me steak, it always tasted good.
Well, right. Because I make a great steak. But here's something that I'm just finding interesting. Frank says he cooks steak with butter. Who? Now, that's something I've never heard of. Not your Uncle Frank.
Oh, okay.
Frank Kafora. What is that?
I've seen that.
What, people put butter on the steak? Or is he talking about on the grill to cook the steak?
When it was, when I was just talking about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We didn't have a grill for this one because we were staying in an Airbnb, so we cooked it on the stove. But he put butter on the pan.
On the pan?
Yeah.
Right, but is that, I'm just clarifying if that's what he means, or does he actually put some butter on top of the steak? I've never.
Oh, I don't know.
If that's what you're doing, I've never heard of that.
that would be unique.
Last night, so we were at Lisa's mother's house, and there was an issue with the barbecue, which doesn't matter. There was an issue with the barbecue, so she cooked it on a pan. So she was cooking it, and she put a little red wine into the steak.
Oh yeah, how'd you feel about that?
She was like, "Oh, it's just to give a flavor. You won't even notice it." And I'm in my head, I'm like, "I'm going to notice it." And Lisa even said it too. Your mom, she goes, "Yeah, he's going to notice that." She really didn't put that much on, so it didn't take away from it. But I totally taste. Of course, you mess with my steak, I'm going to know it. But yeah, but it was fine. It was totally fine. Lots of chefs I work with, says Frank, they say cook steak with butter on the pan. I pan cook steak, cast iron pan. Oh, okay, yeah. So that I've heard of. Yeah, I was really picturing a steak with putting butter on. I'm like, what?
Yeah, when you said that, that's literally what I was thinking too.
Yeah,
I was like, whoa, like a potato.
Right, exactly. All right, and with that, it is time for us to go. Quickly, I have some things to talk about really quick before we go. Let's see. Oh, so I mentioned quickly last week that I have some... Oh, they're over there. I have some Nikki Glazer autographed posters to give away. So here's the deal. So first off, check out Nikki Glazer's brand new HBO special. It's her second HBO special. It's called Someday You'll Die, and it's currently streaming on Max. Nikki Glazer. Now, this picture that you see, that I do have some posters of that very picture autographed by Nikki Glazer. In fact, you saw me give one to Diane last week. So I have a few of those to give away. So I'm thinking tomorrow, I always give out, or I always make the offer for those of you playing Tuesday Trivia. If you ever want to come to the club, I can get you into most of the shows. You just got to, I'll put your name in, and then you just got to, when you get here, tell the club that you won them from Gov's Comedy Club podcast. But I think this week we're going to make it a little bit more of a competition. Whoever gets the most answers correct is going to get themselves a Nikki Glazer autograph picture. A Nikki Glazer autograph poster if you get the most answers correct on tomorrow's Tuesday Trivia. So that's the deal there. And this Friday, Andy, Andy, by the way, we have, now we usually do the musical Thursdays, and we're still doing it this week. Frank is working on a guest. He originally set up a wonderful singer from the Long Island scene, Carrie McQuaid, to be here Thursday. Carrie, if I heard the story correctly, Carrie made a mistake. She thought it was set up for Friday. So she made arrangements to come in here Friday. So she's going to be here. So she can't do Thursday. So we're going to have her in here on Thursday with her boyfriend, Durand. He's a guitar player. She's going to sing. So, Andy, it'll be fun. It'll be me, you, Frank, Carrie, and Durand. That's going to be a lot of fun. Frank, you just texted me, and I have no idea what that means. Give me a second to look at it before you. All right. So Carrie will be in here on Friday. Andy Vajanos, Frank Walker, Durand. Be a fun day. So Thursday, we're working on another musical guest. But what I'm thinking for another Nikki Glazer poster, if you guys want to get in touch with me, you can message me on my Facebook page. Request a song that you'd like Carrie McQuaid to sing. I don't care if you know who Carrie is or not. Request any song that you'd like her to sing. And I'm not going to tell her who requested anything. I'm just going to give her a list of songs that have been requested. Whatever song she picks, whoever requested it will get a poster. Autographed Nikki Glazer poster. Okay? Does that sound good? I thought that would be some cool ways of getting yourself a poster. And speaking of Diane Fogarty, it is official, ladies and gentlemen. I put Diane on the spot on Friday and asked her during the show if she would like to be a permanent co-host, on one day a week like Andy does, like Mike does, like Frank does. Diane has accepted. She will be joining us every Tuesday for Tuesday Trivia. Very excited about that. I don't know if she's starting tomorrow or next week, but you'll find out tomorrow. She's either sitting in that chair or she's not. But yeah, very excited. Looking forward to that. Diane's a lot of fun. Tremendous singer. Just a great ball of energy. So we're looking forward to that, and we're very excited about that. So there you go. So, yeah, those are some fun announcements there. All right, let me read the last of these comments, and then we're going to get out of here. Carol, after steak is done, you put a little butter on it, and it gives it a little flavor and a nice gloss to the steak. That's what they do in restaurants, too. You see, that's one thing. I'm not a foodie, and I don't care what it looks like. I take that back. I don't like if food looks gross, but I'm not interested in the gloss to make it look better. And yes, and see, that's what I was saying. I didn't know that people did that. I know I screwed that up. I didn't know they put butter on steak. I had no idea. Once again, great show, you guys. Oh, thank you, pal. Thank you, Frank. Fremder, I cook steak every morning when I wake up. Cook steak every morning when I wake up. I know that's a jerk-off reference, but I have no idea what it means. Yes, I did screw up. In fact, Carol even let me know last night when I advertised this show and put that picture of Petey up. I said I put 5-3.
Yeah, we're a month ago.
And same thing today at 4:30 is scheduled to have Treading Water. Same thing for that post. I put 5-3. But
I would love it if May the 4th was tomorrow again.
I'm sure you would. Fremder, I'm not famous, but I would love to give Nikki Glazer my autograph. Yes, there you go. All right, we're out of here. As of now, Treading Water is on at 4:30. We'll see if that happens. Steve Squared is scheduled for tonight at 6:30. And then that's it. And then, of course, Coffee with the Dog tomorrow at 9 a.m. We're back here at 11 a.m. for Tuesday Trivia. Again, no Hershey and the Keegs tomorrow night. They're going to be live Wednesday night. And hopefully with all this technical issues I've been having lately, hopefully we pull it off. Wednesday morning, Mike Kaplan will be here. So keep it locked at Gov's Comedy Club Podcasts. And, of course, govs.com. This weekend, some of the comedians you'll see on the governor's stage, Carlos Mencia. And I'll be talking about that tomorrow. Another text from Mark David. I'm going to kill him. Carlos Mencia. Yeah, we're going to talk about him tomorrow on our show a little bit. Psychic Robert Hansen will be here this weekend. Brian Dromerhauser, John Seal, Alex Tomaselli, Kyle Vaders, Devin Lake, Uncle Laser, Steve Marshall. Just some of the comedians you'll see on the governor's stage this weekend. Go to govs.com, make your reservation to check out their full schedule. They got Adam Carolla's coming soon, Anthony Rodia's here next week. Lots of good stuff going on at governors, govs.com. Also, don't forget, September 27th at the Brokerage, come enjoy a hilarious audience interactive murder mystery show with Knock 'em Dead Comedy. That's September 27th at the Brokerage. September 28th in the Giggle Room. Enjoy a Triple X Trivia Night. It's a fun game show with Knock 'em Dead Comedy. And Ivory Fields will be doing a set before the game show starts. There'll be prizes and all sorts of fun. So that's September 28th. And then December 21st, another murder mystery show at McGuire's. So go to govs.com. There's a lot going on at Knock 'em Dead Comedy with governors. And go to knockemdeadcomedy.com as well. Check out our full schedule, where we'll be, what we got going on, as well as information on how you can hire us for your corporate event, your fundraising event, your private event, your event. All right, knockemdeadcomedy.com, govs.com, Govs Comedy Club Podcast. Thank you, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Tuesday Trivia tomorrow. Thank you, Zach. This was fun.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime, pal. See you guys.
What will you expect?